good day, my good people. This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. I'm your host, Glenn Glasper, affectionately known as Mr. Dollar Out of a Dime. And I have a very, 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 very special guest today. One of the guests that I've been trying to get on this show for a long time, but she has a very busy schedule. She's doing some amazing things all across the country. So she has agreed to be with me today for this time that we're going to share today. So listen, if you have questions, if you have anything you want to, chime in, stick around. She's going to be sharing some amazing information with us. All right. Thanks again for tuning in, folks. If you're just joining us, this is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, where we bring you real life real estate solutions. And my special guest today is none other than the Miss Sherry Battle is going to be sharing with us some major information today that you definitely want to pay attention to. But I don't want to steal her thunder. I want to bring her up and have her share with you who she is and some of the things, the many things that she has going on. Miss Sherry Battle, how you doing today?
I am doing fine. Thank you for
Listen,
asking.
Listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to definitely tell you thank you for joining me today. I know you could be doing a million other things, making another $1 million. But I thank you for hanging out with me today and sharing with our audience today. So share with the folks who you are, and then we'll get into some of the things that you got going on.
Okay, my name is Sherry Battle Edmonds. I am the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur Dream Team. And what we do is we focus on people who start their business up from scratch, people who actually have a business but need their business to be scaled,
Yeah.
level up. We focus heavily in the real estate market as well as the stock market. So the categories in which we actually focus are the number one focuses in really generating wealth.
Wow. And listen, I definitely can't let it pass without the folks to understand that you were featured in Forbes magazine. How could a little old person like me get to do something like that?
Well, to be honest with you, it wasn't something that I did. My motto is silently making boss moves. So I believe
Wow.
in silently making boss moves. This way, you are able to accomplish things before people know about it and not have anyone get in your way. Um,
Definitely.
However, my students aren't necessarily as silent, and as a result of that, it got seen. People uh, uh, reached out to me, and they like my story. They like what I'm doing, and they actually did a story on me. So I was really happy about that. I was shocked. I was pleased. I was, you know, mixed feelings, but it was such an honor. I couldn't let it pass up.
Definitely. No, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, when someone's doing the things that you're doing, you definitely and here's the thing, and I understand someone said it once like this, where they say real gangsters move in silence. um, but also I heard a person say that when you're doing certain things, especially in our social media world today, that
Yeah,
it's good to be acknowledged, so that people know that you're credible. And I
yeah.
know for sure, being featured in Forbes magazine definitely makes one credible.
Hmm.
And you're doing again some amazing things. I mean, showing people how to get from zero to $1 million. I mean,
Yeah,
that's something noteworthy. Something that, and that's why I might want to see about being a student as well, because I will definitely be telling everybody about how you helped me get to that point. So I imagine
absolutely.
that's what the students did. They told people how you helped them get there, which
Exactly.
made the people reach out to you to do that
Yeah,
article on you.
absolutely. That's
Yes,
exactly
ma'am.
how it happened. I believe in moving in silence, and I am really not interested in being out there. I know
Mhm.
that in this world, everybody wants to be out there
Yes.
and you make more money by being out there, but it's much more important to me to be productive and to
Mm.
transform and keep people focused on the mission of making that money. So often people um, find that $1 million is not tangible. They don't think it's tangible because all your life you heard $1 million to be some untangible, amount of money, and
Right.
it truly is not. $1 million is not a lot of money, nor
True.
is it untangible. It's something that you can do if you have the proper mentor, the proper person guiding you, someone who actually have done it, and not just once, but not just a millionaire, but someone who's a multimillionaire, someone who
Absolutely.
actually can to hold your hand, teach you, and see where your flaws are, and guide you, and make sure that you stay on task so that you can actually make this money.
Great stuff.
And
Great
and
stuff.
by the way, we are as quiet as it's kept. We're right behind white people in America as
Mm,
millionaires. So you know you can't give us an inch because we will take a yard.
that's right. That's right. That's right. We definitely got to get there. So tell us, how did you get started? So tell us, let's get to the root of who this Sherry Battle person is, and how did you get started? What was the thing that got you started, and to how you got to where you are now?
Okay, so I actually started with I created a business plan, and my story is one that probably a lot of Black people have gone through. And I
Mm,
actually was partnering with a white male on a business venture, and I knew that he was good at what he did. And I created this business plan for us to go in business together. He was able to go into the bank and get his money. We both were going to get 50-50, the same amount.
mm,
He went in the bank with my business plan and got the money in 3 weeks. I went
wow.
to the same bank with the same loan officer, with the same, I had my credit score was about 2 points higher than his. I was in my 20s though, he was in his 40s, and
Mm,
he was able to get the loan. I went in there and she told me I could use my own money. I had more money than he did. I had $140,000 at that time. He didn't have it less than $2,000. He lived in a condo that he rented. I owned my home. And he was able to get the loan. I wasn't. And she told me that I could borrow against my own money.
wow.
Mhm. So I was so annoyed by that. In fact, we did not go in business together. He took his money, went on to North Carolina, and opened up a small hotel. And I then opened up my business with my own money, um, and that was a New York modeling agency. And in less than 2 years, I had $1 million. I was not working towards $1 million. I did not try to make $1 million. I was enjoying what I was doing, and my accountant told me that I had made over $1 million, and she needed me to come in. But
Wow.
when she was telling me that she was mixing it up with taxes and all of these different things that I was going to have to pay, and so my head was going no, but I was happy on the inside that I had made the money, but I was like no, no. I mean, you need to show me that I made that because I don't think so. And
Right. Right.
I went there and I sat down with her. I am a numbers person by trade. I'm an engineer. And
Wow.
so, yeah, she showed me exactly how I got there. And when she did, it was an epiphany. It made me realize that no matter how I did it, I was going
Mm,
to hit $1 million. No matter how I did it, I was going to hit $1 million. And so, what happened from there, I was 29 at the time,
wow.
and I realized that I could do that even better and faster, based on what I understood I did. And so I've been doing it that way forever. And it still didn't click to still stay focused in that. I was just enjoying my business, and I've always been in real estate. Real estate was always a hobby for me. My
Mm,
son graduated from college, and I wanted him to take over my store, my Elite Child store. And he was like, no, I want to get into the business of real estate. And I was like, that's something I do for fun. He was like, no, I like it. My late husband had given him assignments behind my back to collect rent, and by him seeing how much money we were collecting, he got an interest in it, and I never knew about that. And so when he was telling me over dinner why he wanted to do this, because the modeling agency was making so much more money. I mean,
mm,
the Elite Child business was making so much more money. And I was like, listen, let me show you that you don't get to see the money like you do with the real estate, but let me show you how much money we're making over here.
mm,
And but he was stuck on real estate. And as a result of that, in 2013, when he graduated from college, the market, the economy had sunk, and people didn't have jobs. So I took that opportunity to mentor him in real estate.
mm.
And his first job was a flip, and he gained over $200,000 in that one deal. And then I then put him in Airbnb. He was loving it, and it was fun for me to teach him. And all of his friends were like, "Have your mom to help us. We want to do it too." And I was like, "Well, once you hit your million, then I'll create a business, and we'll let them get in on it as well." And
Mm.
so he did, and they did, and it became a real competitive thing, and they became millionaires. So it's really been great.
That is absolutely amazing. You know, I believe you go by the same, motto that I've heard several times. The first million, people think it's impossible, but the
Right.
second million, it's inevitable.
Yes.
And that's why I heard you say pretty much. And when you made your first million, it took maybe a couple years, but then after that, it was pretty much,
Yeah, because you now
automatic.
understand. Yeah,
Right, right,
exactly.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I come to understand about, becoming a quote unquote millionaire.
Hmm.
Many people think just because you make $1 million, that makes you a millionaire, right?
Right.
But if you understand money and how to do the things that you're supposed to do with that money and have
Yes,
the mindset, then in my opinion is when you actually become a millionaire.
exactly.
And if you become a millionaire in your mindset, then you actually get to keep the money
Exactly.
as a
You
millionaire.
understand the whole thing. And, if you make $1 million, if someone teaches you how to make it, you don't need that person anymore.
Right,
I
absolutely.
mean, if you
Absolutely.
actually have a person who actually teach you, and one thing about us, you can teach us. If you, in any job, we usually are the best in it. It
Yes.
doesn't matter what it is. We usually are the best in it.
Mhm.
And so if someone teach you how to make $1 million, you're very attentive to that. And you're going to be able to do that over and over and over again. And you'll be able to show others how to do it.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of teaching people how to make $1 million, let's talk about this program that you have, where you're showing people how to make $1 million on their own terms.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, we have this program called 1 Million on Your Own Terms. And the only people in this program are the people who are under me who've already made $1 million. And
Mm,
now we are going on tour. I would like to show people just how easy it is to make $1 million.
mm,
And it doesn't matter where you are. That's why we're going on tour. So people can say, oh, yeah, well, she's in New York, or she's in Washington, or she's in Atlanta. No,
mm.
I'm going in North Carolina. I'm going in various places. It doesn't matter if you in the country. It won't matter if someone teach you how to do it,
Mm.
then you will know how to do it because you've been taught how to do it. It's
Right.
very simple. When someone take you by the hand and show you exactly what to do, how to do, and to stay away from these things, and make sure you do these things, and this is how you're going to get there faster, and da 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 da. You're going to be paying attention, and you're going to be focused. And one of the things that people don't get is that it's not enough time in a day. I don't care if you work 2, 3, 4 jobs. It's not enough time in a day when you're working like that to make $1 million. You have to
Right.
be making money in your sleep and all
Oh,
around the clock.
that is true. That is true.
Fact.
So the program that now the program that you're doing, you're taking it on tour.
Yes,
Now let's do. You want to tell folks about what's happening on Tuesday? You
yes,
know, you want to give them some dates of the tour.
yes. So we actually are taking this program on tour. We're starting in Virginia the 26th of this month, which is Tuesday. It is an up close and personal meet up workshop where you're going to have me all day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I'm not going to let anybody be left behind. I am going to stay there until they get it. And it's going to be teaching you all kinds of things from automation to launching your business to investing, how to invest, what to choose, what not to choose, how much money you make. And for an example, we have Entrepreneur Dream Team own our own projects. For an example, we own our own private island. We own our private bed and breakfast in a mansion in a historic district in Virginia. We own, we're developing a tiny home village. In all of these projects that we own, we are inclusive with our members. So when you become a member, you become family. When you become family, you can invest in any of these projects. The least amount of money you're going to make on any of the projects is $22,000 a year. So once you invest, you not just, let's say the tiny home project, you invest in that project, you not only are going to make $22,000 a year or more, you also going to own the tiny home. That's assets. So you're going to be building, it's designed for you to generate wealth and build your portfolio. So all
That's
projects have that type of um, planning so that you can actually build wealth. It is better when everybody can have wealth. So I think that the programs that we have, they're so exceptional. And once you learn it and once you see you're making that money, you're going to want to repeat that. So if you were doing the bare minimum of 22, you're now at, if you repeat it, you're now at 44 and you own the property, let's say another 100. So you start off with a nice kick, okay? And once you learn that, you don't have to stick with one project. You can move to another project, you know? And, we do so many things like starting people up from scratch, making your own money with your own business. A person who's been in business for a long time and not making a lot of money just in business, just to say they're in business with a very minimal amount of money, that is not how the Entrepreneur Dream Team roll. We want you to make real money. Otherwise, as far as I'm concerned, it's a hobby.
This is true. This is true. So the entrepreneur dream team, like this, I mean, I'm actually already blown away. So I've been a part of the group for some time, the Facebook group, and been paying attention to some of the things that have been
Yes.
going on. And I have to say again, like you're doing some tremendous, tremendous things. So what made you create such an innovative program that's inclusive? With what you're doing with the entrepreneur dream team, dream team.
Well, one, I I have I've been a millionaire for a long time. It's not new money for me.
Mm,
And I know that it's not, I know people like people to think that it's difficult. People don't really want to help people. And I remember the moment that it happened and how I felt and how it was not something I was working on. And if
mm,
in fact it was something I wasn't working on and it happened, you got to know that it's really when you're deliberate about what you're doing and you know that you're working towards a goal, you're going to get there so much faster. You're going to, you know, you're going to feel so great about yourself. It's a real transition. It's a real a change in your life, and it's not just little change. It's a change that just make you feel like it's got to be something else to it. I mean, it can't be this easy. Like this, if everybody knew this, then they would do it. And
Right.
it's true. If everybody knew what to do, they would do it. But they're not. And so I'm hoping that this will be a domino effect. Once I show other people how to
Oh,
do it, and they see these people doing it, because at the end of the year we want to bring everybody in and see where they are in terms of how much money they've been able to make in this year following my program. So we're going to keep following them until they get to where they are. And in Vegas, we're going to take all of those people that are a millionaire, and we're going to put them all together, and anybody who wants to come will be able to come. They will hear their stories. They will see what they have in common. They'll be able to work with them. It's so much to do. I mean, from people who are, I mean, I have a person who's 77 years old who's a millionaire, and he speaks very little English. He's a Russian Jew. And if he can do it, I tell people all the time, he is old and he is, he can't even speak our language, but yet he understood. Notice that foreigners really understand money.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. That's
So,
real stuff.
the bottom line is if somebody teach you how to do it, you pay attention, you're going to get there.
Right, right. So you're basically taking people from almost zero, we'll say,
Where they
to
are.
help right where they are, to
Hmm.
helping them get to the point of being able to obtaining 1 million in earnings.
That's
And
right.
now, are you talking about being able to do that within a year's time?
It depends. It depends on how aggressive a person is.
Okay, okay.
It usually takes about 2 years, but we've had people do it less than a year, less than 2 years. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really nice when it's competitive. And I think the way I'm doing it is going to be competitive because the people who are in the 20, because it's only 20 people per group. When I
Okay.
go through these states, I am only asking for 20 people to be involved. And so they will meet each other, they will communicate with each other, they will talk to each other. And when they do that, it seems to be faster because people are competing. This person's
Mm,
already at 22, and this person's already at 50. This person's already, I got to get on it, So
right.
it becomes a fun, competitive, experience. So I think it's going to be great.
Healthy competition is good. It's
That's
always good
right.
to have some healthy competition.
Absolutely.
And and it's motivating and it's encouraging at the same time. If people understand the goal is for everyone to arrive at the same place, pretty
Yes.
much, then it makes it a little more creative and interesting.
Yes,
So
it does.
I like that idea. That's very good. As long as people, some people, they don't understand and appreciate the necessity in some cases
Yes.
of being competitive,
Yes.
which it's just about showing a person like, I have this amount of blocks and I can help you get to this level, by encouraging you to do the same thing. It's all good. It's all
It's
good. I
funny
really like.
because the people that you think they're so laid back, you think they weren't going to be really strong, and they want to give that competition. Those are the ones that creep up on you.
Right.
So, it's kind of funny because I love it. I mean, I have to tell you, I'm at a place that I'm absolutely loving my life. It's nothing that I've done. I've always done something that was always geared towards helping people, but this is by far the fun. This is the most fun I'm having. And it's so productive and it's so real. And I just love it. I truly love what I am doing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you're changing lives at the same time, and that in and of itself is its own reward,
Yes,
so
that's the reward. Yes.
definitely, definitely.
To see a
So
human being's whole life change. I had a person, as one of her testimonies said, that her and her husband were about to jump off of a cliff with no parachute before she met us.
wow.
So, I mean, I realize what kind of situation my people are in, but I never would say that. And I was touched by her saying that because, people, you know, you give them a lifeline. You actually are saving people's lives.
Real stuff. Real stuff. We have a question. Someone wants to know, when are you coming to Atlanta?
The 13th of May.
Okay, okay, May 13th. And we're gonna make sure we, for those of you that are watching or that catch the replay, we're gonna make sure we put the link in the comments so you can certainly get registered for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, so let's talk about some of the things that happen in this program, right? So we're teaching people how to invest in real estate, right?
Yes,
Is that one of the things? What are
yes,
some of the other things that are involved in showing them what to do?
okay, so again, we want to teach people where they are because there will be people, and that's the reason why it's from 9 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. There,
Mm,
people will be in different levels. They will be in different places in their life, and so you're actually getting my total attention intimately, so I can see where you are, so I can help you where you are. And so, yeah, I will, if a person wants to start a business, I'm really big on businesses. I'm really
mm,
big on real estate. I'm really big on the things that we are doing because this is what really brings real wealth fast in the world. That's these things that I have, there's nothing else. Everything is outside of this.
right.
Starting your own business, an existing business, the stock market, and real estate. That's it as far as I'm concerned. And
Wow.
so if you are trying to generate wealth, these are the focuses. That's it. Don't waste your time on anything else. Now, we do a lot of different things in real estate, but
Mhm.
I master real estate. That's really something I enjoy. So it could be Airbnb. Like I said, we allow you to be a part of any of our programs. We will teach you how to, let's say we just had a person um, the other night who came to us. She's her father passed, and her and her brother just inherited a house.
Wow. Wow.
So she thinks that she's down. No, she's not. She's up, and I'm going to be able to help her generate quite a bit of money, from that. And so the people will come to you as they are, and
Mhm.
I will evaluate where they are. If a person have bad credit, don't let that stop you. We have people who help you with your credit. We have lenders that can help you with bad credit. So
Mhm.
don't worry about that. We want to make money. Focus on that. Focus on let's get money in your pocket, generate that money, show you how to save that money because so often people will make money. They will come in humble. They all come in humble. Everybody comes in humble. And then they
Mhm.
start spending that money,
Yeah.
doing things that, they say they wouldn't be doing. And it slows them up, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
because it feels good. And a lot of times people aren't used to making a lot of money. And so when
True.
they do, they think, well, if it's coming in like this, it'll keep coming in like this. And
Right.
so they keep enjoying themselves, like taking trips and in the massage parlor and, all of these, extra things. And especially these Louis Vuitton bags and earrings and all of this nonsense. I'm so sorry to say that, but to me, it's nonsense. You
It
know,
is. It is
if
what it
you,
is.
if you want to spend your money, you know, don't spend it on wasteful things. It's your money, so I'm not going to tell you how to do it. But right now, my mission is for you to make $1 million and for you to make some real money. And yes, I'm pretty strict. I know I look all nice and everything and sweet, but I'm really
You do.
quite strict.
Hey, but
Uh,
that's what people need though. People need sometimes people to push them.
yeah.
And oftentimes people know it. We
Yes,
know
they
that
do.
it's necessary to have someone to push us in the direction that we need to go.
Yes.
And sometimes that requires us being told the things that we may not want to
Want to
hear.
hear?
Right.
Yes,
You
exactly.
know. And,
It's
and when people hear people talking about, Louis Vuitton bags and how that's, foolish, people spend money on things. I say spend money, not invest. They spend
right.
money on things that do not give them any type of return. Like, yeah, you might look nice carrying a bag, and it has its allure for some time, but then what? The question then becomes, what can you do with that bag that will give you a return on the investment?
No,
And
and
many
everything
people,
don't have to have a return, but it's wasteful. Like, to me, it's wasteful.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
um, I mean, if you're gonna spend, I can show you how to. If you want to put $2,000 on a bag, I can show you what to do with $2,000, and you can have something that's worthy. So I
Right.
don't,
Right.
I have money and I don't buy those things. Everything that I have like that is somebody else buying it for me, because I just
Mm,
don't do it. I don't.
right.
And
Right.
I'm not a person that I treat myself well. Let's just say that. I treat
Mhm.
myself very well, but I don't waste my money on things like that.
Most often, having conversations with millionaires like yourself, people who are of influence, most often they say that they don't spend their money on those types of things, right? Doesn't mean that they don't get them, sometimes they
Right,
do get them
exactly.
as gifts from times, but
Right.
they don't spend their money on those types of things. Why would you say, what would you say about that? Is that something you agree with? Apparently you do.
I
Uh,
definitely agree with that.
why do you say that is the case? Why do millionaires who have the ability to purchase these types of things, why do you think they don't choose to do those things?
It's a mindset. It's
Absolutely.
simply a mindset.
Absolutely.
It's you don't you don't want to waste your money. Like a person who actually earned their money, they're not
Mm,
interested in wasting it.
wow. Wow. Yeah. Especially when you understand the value of what you put into earning the money, right?
Yes,
I
exactly.
mean, sometimes it's hard work and it's smart work.
Mhm.
And if you're going to work hard at something and be smart about something, why do something that's not smart?
Yes,
Right.
and the truth is, I don't work hard. I
Mm,
don't work hard. I do
right.
work smart, and I do enjoy what I do. I pretty much, I'm making money as we speak, So,
Definitely. Definitely.
I do not work hard. I live a very stress-free life. Every single one of the properties I own, and I own many, they are free and clear. I do not have a mortgage on anything. I teach people
Wow.
how to build wealth, not to go in debt.
Wow.
Now,
That's
some
great.
people have to go in debt because of their circumstance, but the focus is to get them out of that debt. You're there
Mm,
temporarily. You're not there forever. It's just a
right.
temporary thing so you can make money to do better.
Great stuff. Great
It's
stuff.
all strategic.
Now, of course, in all of what you're talking about is some lessons I'm sure that you definitely teach. So tell us, what are some of the cons or pros in the investment industry? Can you share some of those with us?
Well, I think that it's so much out there. It's so much out there that you can be totally distracted. And just because it sounds good doesn't mean it is good.
Mm,
My I stick with the numbers. That's what's true to me. You can't fake me out with the sales pitch.
right.
I'm really gonna do those numbers, and I can do them in the back of my head. And I'm thinking of things that you didn't think of because I've been doing it
Mm,
for so long.
right.
And so if the numbers don't work, I don't play. I don't. I'm not. Even though I deal with the stock market. I'm very safe. I'm not out there. Like, some people are taking all kinds of risks, losing money and stuff. That's not my way. I'm not that.
Mm,
I am very strategic, very analytical. I am really thinking this thing out. I'm not playing nobody's games with it. So
mm,
I'm about making money, building it. So when I lose money, I feel it. I don't, I no matter how much money I have, I will never not feel it when I'm taking a loss, because I
right.
don't do I very seldom take a loss. So I would definitely feel it if I don't like to feel uncomfortable. My dad taught me to not borrow other people's money.
Mm,
Even though that was a very bad experience for me, with the business plan and my first deal with my guy. That guy, he went on in his life and was, been doing well ever since. And I had to use my own money. And I was telling my dad, of course, I went to my mom and dad and told them about the situation. I was all angry about it. And I was pacing back and forth and telling them. And my dad just listened to me. He just let me ramp back and forth and, vent. And then at the end, he said, well, you know, the world isn't fair. And then
Wow. Wow.
secondly, he said, I said, so what am I going to do? And he said, figure it out. And that alone, figuring it out, is what I had to do. And that is why I am debt free. Because although it was a bad experience, it really helped me because it put me in the mindset that I don't qualify no matter what I have. I had everything I needed. And they didn't give it to me because I felt like, because they thought I was young, I was black, I was a woman, I didn't supposed to be able to qualify. And
Mm.
they did not want me to be able to do it, and they had the hammer. They could make the decision, and they made that decision. And so if I had all the ingredients to be able to get that loan and didn't, my mind is that they're not going to give me any money. So I have to figure it out. And as a result of that, I have figured it out. And along that journey, it has caused me to be very wealthy.
Absolutely.
Because
Amazing.
now I have all kinds of assets. And instead of borrowing loans, I just sell something.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. It makes sense. Wow. So I mean, it made you stronger all the more,
It
you know,
most
for
certainly did.
having to face that challenge, you know.
Absolutely. It puts me in a great position because now that I have this program, I do invest with my students. Let's say if a person was need to do something and it's $100,000 and they only can get 50. Well, you know what? It's a team, the entrepreneur dream team. So I want that person to win. Okay, so
Mm.
you want to do it? You want to partner with me? We split 50-50. That way nobody's in charge and nobody's trying to get their money, just want them to win.
Right. Right.
So,
Wow. Wow. So what are some of the ways, you know, that people can join the movement of becoming a millionaire?
okay.
I mean, how can they get involved in the program?
Okay, so you don't get to be on the 1 million on your own terms, but you can join the Entrepreneur Dream Team group. It's a private group on Facebook.
Mhm.
You also can get a free consultation. I do free consultations all the time. I like to talk to people. I am a real people's person. Of course, there are times that it's overwhelming, but I am very thorough. So you will get me, you know.
Mhm.
And I want to hear your voice. I want to see that you're in it because I've had parents to put their child in programs that I refuse to accept them because,
Mhm.
because it was the parent that wanted it and not the child.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Because they have to want it. It's not pushing them on me because you can't do nothing with them. He's gonna have to want to do this because I am not doing this because I have to. I do it because I want to. And
Right.
so people who aren't in the front, you have to pull them like a tug of war. And I don't have time for that. I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing that anymore. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. You either want it or you don't. And if you want it, then we have fun.
How do you deal with
This
the
is
ones that
fun.
how do you deal with the ones that don't?
The ones that don't want to do it, I just don't accept them. I just give them their money back. I don't want to be bothered. I'm on a journey of helping people who want to be helped. I
Right.
have always been a person, I had to learn, and I'm still learning, to not want more for people than they want for themselves. I am
Mm.
very big on wanting for people more
Wow.
because I'm like, I know you can do better than this,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I have to hold myself. I have to stop myself because, I put that in my face. You cannot want more for him or her than she want for herself.
Mm.
And once I say that to myself, then I can live with it.
You know, I think that's been one of my challenges for some time now. I have to remind myself, I guess, just like you said, that you can't want more for people than they want for themselves. But I have this thing where I know that I can see things in other people that they don't see in themselves,
Right.
and if they could just get a glimpse of
Mhm.
who they are and what they're what they're capable of, I know that they could do so much better.
Yes.
You know, but it's oftentimes I find that people aren't looking for that. They're not
They're
looking
not.
for
And
that.
I myself, like I had a person that I'm mentoring. She brought a one-on-one, and she don't want to be a millionaire. She only want to make 20 or $30,000 more, annually, and that is something we can do with our eyes closed. You don't need me, on
Right.
a one-on-one on that. I need
Mhm.
you to want at least $50,000 if you want to do this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so she agreed.
Yeah. And that's, when I have these conversations with folks about, especially getting started in real estate, and they talk about, they just, like, I had a gentleman the other day said that $10,000, an extra $10,000, just period, like
Mhm.
not monthly, not, however long. He said just an extra $10,000 right now would change his life. And I had to think about that, and I'm like, that for a lot of people is the case. If they had an extra $5,000 or $10,000, it would change their lives.
Mhm.
The difference is, unfortunately, what are they willing to do to make those things happen in their lives? And I know if $10,000 can change your life for now, imagine if you can multiply that 10 times
And you
or 100
can.
times. But it's the challenge of getting them. The other thing he told me, he said, well, I don't have any money, or and I don't have time. And I'm like, well, if you don't have time and you don't have money, what are your plans to get you to that extra $10,000 that you're talking about obtaining? He had no idea. And I was just like, well, why are we here? What is this conversation about? You're not willing to budge on making an investment in yourself, whether it be time or money. You're not willing to make the sacrifice of what it takes to accomplish the goal that you say you have for yourself. What can I do for you?
You can't do anything. And let me tell you
Right.
this. This I've been living for a very long time. I'm 61 now. Okay,
Wow.
so I will say that in my time of adult entrepreneurship, I
Mhm.
have learned that most people are in the gray. And when I say that, I mean most people will they're not black or white. They're gray. They're in the
Mhm.
middle of the street.
Wow.
Anybody who's going to stand in the middle of the street is going to do nothing but what? Get ran over.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. You have to be able to make a decision. You have to be able to choose what you want to do. And I don't know how many people who will say, if you say, do you want to go out and eat? Yeah, I love to go out to eat. Well, what do you want to eat? I don't care.
Mm.
Well, where do you want to go? Mm, I don't care. So these, what I call people who live in the gray, many people are like that. Like most
Mhm.
people are like that. And if you don't have a destination, hear me out because I'm preaching right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I tell these things to my students all the time, and they say I'm preaching to them. If you don't have a destination, you're not going anywhere.
That's
You
right.
have to know where you're going. And
Yeah.
don't stand in the middle of the street. Don't get stuck. Don't tell me that you're waiting for me because I'm in the same place I always been. My number hasn't changed. You don't
Mm.
need to wait.
I'm gonna have to tell you now. I am known to be the quote stealer, right? So if you hear me use being in the gray again, I'm gonna give you credit the first time. The next time is mine, right? So I'm definitely gonna use that again. And you're right. Another quote that I've actually borrowed. I'll say borrowed because I still give him credit from time to time. My pastor says, "If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there."
That's
Right?
right. Exactly.
Just like what you said, without having a plan or a destination or a goal or a
Mhm.
target to shoot for, you're just in the gray and you're in the
Yeah.
middle of the road, you're gonna get run over. So that's the first
Yes.
time I used it. So I'm gonna give you credit this time.
It's true.
Yeah,
Life
but
is
you're
really
right.
what you make it. And honestly, there are people who've come to me who didn't have anything. They're not very educated, none of that. And
Mhm.
they still can make that money. So
Wow. Wow.
so all you need is some help. And people are right now with their eyes wide open, ready for help. And so I would love to be able to see a community of just millionaires. And it's not
Absolutely.
a big deal to be that. And nobody's really trying to harm each other because I can make that too. Show me how to do it.
True. True. And if people really looked at where we are today in the world that we live in, I mean, you're from a time probably a few years before me, but you're from a time where we made, I mean, we did very well in the area of making millions of dollars, where we didn't have social media, we
Hmm.
didn't have, the
That's right.
Facebook and the YouTubes and all these other things and Google, so you think about, if we were able to make it during those times where we didn't have the digital resources that we have available. I mean, you can buy a book online and read it right now, you know, and when we didn't have these sources available to us, resources available to us, and we were still able to do it then, why is it, do you think that it's a challenge for people who have the ability to have these resources available to them and they still aren't able to accomplish this?
Well, I think that TV really didn't help us at all
Mm,
because it shaped the mindset of people and unconsciously, but consciously, plant consciously, but unconsciously, people have an image of what things are based on TV. And
mm,
when you think of a millionaire, for an example, you think of a white male with gray hair
right.
and a briefcase.
Yeah.
And most of the people I know who are millionaires, they're none of that.
I haven't seen a briefcase in so long. I remember when I was little, that's the one thing that I wanted to have was a briefcase when I grew up.
let,
I finally got one too.
let me tell you something. For years, I was trying to get into this group in Florida, a group
Mm,
with nothing but millionaires. I had been trying to get in that group, and I qualified. There was no question about it. I'm real analytical, and I'm a person that know how to skin a cat in more than one way. I know
right.
how to do this, and they kept denying me. And
And
then when I
I want to say
married,
on this program, no cats were harmed. So,
no, no, but what happened is, just to let you know what kind of world we live in,
uh,
I married a circuit court judge.
oh wow,
Yeah,
okay,
and I put it in his name. I did the same thing, and I put it in his name, and guess what? He became a member. Now keep
wow,
in mind, he wasn't the millionaire. He
wow.
wasn't the person. He fit their mode.
Mm,
And as a
mhm.
result of that, we belong to this membership. And so I still belong to it. My husband's passed now, but I'm going to tell you something. The moment I've been waiting for, the moment of being able to go and mingle with these millionaires, I was so hyped about this. And we had to go to Miami. And it was when I got there, the people who were in there, I was just in such amaze. They were in shorts, t-shirts.
Mm,
They looked so basic and so regular that I had such mixed feelings about it. I mean, I was thinking I had been trying for years to become a part of this group that was not at all what I envisioned. So
wow,
TV is TV, the imagery of what people see and think is based on their conscious but our unconscious mind.
wow, absolutely, absolutely. That's something else, and it's oftentimes where people have this imagery, like you mentioned earlier, of what a millionaire looks like, right?
Yes.
They have this imagery of what a millionaire looks like, and especially in today's where
Yes.
things have transcended in so many different ways. I know several millionaires of many which that don't own suits,
Right.
right? Like
Exactly.
me
They
growing
don't.
up, the era that I come from, like you had to be wearing a suit to do whatever you were doing, right?
It's our culture.
It
We
is,
always
it
had
is.
to we always had to be better, look better, all of it.
Yes, yes.
So that is how it I believe it helped us.
Yes, yes. I mean, for me, I mean, I still like to wear.
Yes.
I'm from Detroit, so I still like to
Yes.
wear a nice suit,
Right.
right?
Of course.
So I like to dress up. So that will probably be a part of me for the foreseeable future, what I do. But I do realize that in many cases, we have to meet people where they are, right?
Yes. We
And
do.
sometimes the suit that I've come to understand that the suit for some people can be intimidating,
Mhm.
right? When you position yourself, when you tell people, okay, you can become a millionaire, I believe, and this is, I guess in my mind, one of the mindsets that they think of is in order for me to become a millionaire, I got to dress a certain way, right? As
Mhm.
opposed to becoming a certain person, they realize they think about having to dress a certain way, right? First of all, now what I understand is you have to change the way that you think about things.
Mhm.
And if you and one of the sayings that I always say, and I don't know who I stole this one from, but if you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will soon change, right? And I think we still have this, we meaning our culture and our community in many cases, we have this one track way of looking at how to accomplish a certain thing, or is in the way you put it as, one way to skin a cat.
Mm.
um, but I think that we should be more mindful of the things and the tools and the resources that we have available to us. Such as someone like yourself who openly shares and openly educates people about becoming millionaires.
Yes.
Why don't you have more and more people reaching out to you when you have something available for them? And from what I see, I think I saw the investment. The investment is very minimal from what I could see.
Mhm.
Why don't you think you have more and more people? And I'm sure you have quite a few, but why do you even have time to be on a show like this and not being flooded by people trying to to become a part of your program?
Keep in mind, I am silently making boss moves. So I am
Okay.
not really out there like that.
Uh,
My students is who put me out there. And
right, right.
honestly, um, I do like my lifestyle.
Mhm.
I do like what I do, and I like that I'm not overwhelmed. Um, I'm an octopus. I'm doing a lot more than I had planned to do. And
Okay.
it's always because I am so competitive. Like that's just by nature. I'm very competitive.
Hmm.
And I'm making sure that I don't leave anybody behind. I want them to win. Because when you look good, I look good.
Right.
And by the way, I do turn people down. Like if I
Mhm.
interview them, if I'm talking to them and I see that they're not quite there, I'll tell them to wait because I don't want to be slowed down. I have a momentum and I
Right.
don't like to be slowed down. So when you're ready is when I want you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
That's great. That's great. And that's something I want to definitely give a shout out to one of my previous guests, D. Stevens, mentioned that when the student is ready, then the teacher will appear. Now, of course, that's an old saying, but I don't think people really take that into consideration when they're oftentimes seeking someone. Like some people will seek someone to teach them or mentor them, but
Mhm.
they themselves aren't ready to be mentored.
Right.
you
Right.
know um and I have these conversations with people so often, and they say I just want to see what's out there, right? I ask myself, well, is it that you need to see what's out there? This is what I want to ask them. Is it that need to see what's out there, or you're not sure of what's in you, right? You find so many people shopping around for the next best thing, and they haven't spent enough time doing better for themselves, and making
Well,
themselves better to be prepared for the person that's going to teach them.
well, also I think that unfortunately, not any fault of our own, unfortunately, we have been cheated. We've been stamped. We have been um, deprived and stepped on and stomped on and made sure that we don't get ahead and all of those things and cheated. There's so many
Right.
scams and stuff out there, and we don't trust, as easily. We don't believe as easily. So again, not any fault of our own because we have been hit so bad in so many different ways.
Mhm.
Um, just I'm very sensitive to our people when it comes to trying to take their time because I really want them when they are ready. Like I really don't want them otherwise. I don't.
Right.
I've had them. I've had people like that. They're pull energy out of me that I don't want. I don't need that. I want to have fun with it. You got to be ready. If you're ready, you can do it. There's no question about it. And that's part of the formula of the success that I have is that you're ready. So, at the end of the day, it has to be something a person wants. You know how you get a person who was really fat and they just got sick and tired of being fat, or a
Right.
person just gets sick and tired of being poor, or they had to hit rock bottom, and then now they are making all of this money. It's because depending on a person's drive, depending
Mm.
on why they're doing what they're doing, they're going to be a good student.
True
If a
story.
person is just doing it just for the heck of it, I don't feel like working today, and go boating, no, we have something that we're doing. It has to be something that you're serious about. It's not a joke for me. It's serious to me. Again, I'm very competitive, and when you don't win, I don't win, and I don't like to not win. So I'm very, very serious about what I do. And I love to see the faces of people when they're making money. Because even if they don't make $1 million, so what? I'm going to see where you are. You're going to be so much further. It's like my dad would say, so if we reach for the sky, the stars, what do you, if you get anything less, so what? You're so far up there, you know, you've not lost anything.
At least you made the attempt. Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. I want to give a shout out to Miss Valerie Vinoy. She says she accidentally landed here, but she's so glad she did because she really needed to hear. She said she loved your passion for silently making boss moves. Uh,
Thank you.
so thank you, Miss Vinoy, for tuning in. But it's been amazing to have this conversation with you, and we've talked several times. So I know what your heart is like. I have an idea of, the passion that you have to be able to help people to get from one level to the next. And I definitely salute you and what you do and all that you have going on. And I am, I'm silently a student as well, because I watch
Yeah.
people and I pay attention. So I'm definitely paying attention to what you have going on, and I thank you for always positioning yourself to be, someone that can share with the way that you share. I want to do one more thing before we go. I want to give you an opportunity to tell the folks how they can connect with the Entrepreneur Dream Team and how they can actually register for the events that you have coming up.
Okay. All right. So we are the Entrepreneur Dream Team. Again, it's a group that you can join. It's a private group, but it's called the Entrepreneur Dream Team on Facebook. You can also, my name is Sherry Battle, so you can actually contact me personally, mention this program, this podcast, and I will accept you as a friend. And so you can actually see what we're doing. You can have a consultation with me. I'm constantly doing something, and my link to have a consultation with me is always available. And you can simply talk to me, on a one-on-one and see where we are. Our tour is from Virginia to Atlanta to North Carolina to Pennsylvania, New York, Washington D.C. It's in various places. And our last spot is in Vegas. So Vegas is going to be where everybody can share where they are. And anybody who wants to participate in it and try to get in on what we're doing should be there.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure we share the link of, how people can register for those events,
Yes,
that are coming
absolutely.
up. And again, I'm blown away. And I think I'm going to be hanging out with you in Virginia, one of the first
Yes, you
stops.
are. Yes,
And of course, when you come to Atlanta, definitely be looking forward to hanging out with you when you come to Atlanta.
absolutely.
Um, I'm just excited for what you have going on, and the lives that will be changed as a result of what you will be sharing, in the events that you'll be having going forward.
Yes.
You're truly an inspiration to me. So
Mhm.
again, thank you for being on today, and continue to inspire other people. Anything you want to share with the folks before we get off?
Well, I just want to thank you for having me and recognize that whenever they are serious about making that change in their life, look up the Entrepreneur Dream Team and give us a holler. Take a look at what the people who are in the group are doing, see their successes, see our successes, and know that, sitting on the wall and watching everybody is nice, but getting in the game is so much nicer.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is amazing. We have Sophia Smith, who's been hanging out with us for some time. So shout out to Sophia Smith. She says, thanks for sharing her with us, Glenn.
Oh, thank
Thank you
you.
for being on. And then we have Ms. Valerie Vinoy that says, thanks for hosting the show. Um, Thank you all very much for joining us. Again, Ms. Battle, thank you for being on. I can't wait to see you in Virginia. I can't wait to sit at your feet and be a student as well,
Yes,
and just continue to learn some of the great things that you have going on. um,
absolutely.
Thank you folks for watching. This has been the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we always bring you real life real estate solutions. Enjoy the rest of your day.